We live in a time when things happen that you would never even imagine. I'm going to tell you what happened to my sister. This is a true story, but before I start, please don't forget to leave a like. My sister was a young girl. She was rebellious and moody, just like most people her age. I used to work somewhere close to her university, and one day I stopped by to pick her up and take her home. I found her standing there arguing with a guy who was a classmate of hers. As soon as she saw me, she went quiet, left him, and got into the car with me. She didn't say a single word the entire way home. I wanted to ask her what was going on, but I decided to leave it alone and ask her later when she felt like talking. The next day was a day off. I went to my sister's room because I wanted to talk to her for a little while and ask her about that guy. She was sitting at her computer like usual. I said, "So, what are you doing today? Want to watch a movie together?" She looked at me but ignored what I said. I knew there was an age difference between us, and teenagers can be hard to deal with, but I was trying my best to be close to her. I asked her, "What are you so busy with?" She said, "Nothing. I'm browsing the dark web. There's a website here where you can ask any question, no matter how crazy or illegal it is, and you'll find someone who'll answer you. The people on here are really scary, and that's because nobody can track them. The dark web is really hard to trace." I said, "Okay, but why are you even on there? That's not safe at all." What my little sister told me really worried me, so I decided to see for myself what she was looking at. And I was shocked by what I saw. I went to the website she had told me about and found people asking really strange and disturbing questions. There was one guy asking how to get rid of his mother's body without anyone finding out. At first, I thought he was joking, until I saw people actually answering him with disturbing ways to hide the body. That's when I got terrified. I closed the website immediately and decided I had to make sure my sister stayed away from those sites. The next day, I went to the market with my sister. I told her about what I had seen the day before and the horrifying answers people were giving. I told her, "Don't go on those websites again. I'm worried about you." But I was shocked by her reaction. She made fun of what I was saying and told me, "You don't get to tell me what I can and can't do. Don't act like you're my big sister. I'm not a little kid anymore." I didn't argue with her anymore because I knew how stubborn she was. If I kept warning her, she'd probably do the exact opposite. But I wish I had tried harder before she did the thing that changed our lives forever. One day, my sister went to study at her friend's house, and I was sitting at the table having lunch with my dad and mom. My mom said, "I'm really worried about your sister. I feel like she's doing something she shouldn't be doing." I asked her, "Why are you saying that, Mom?" She said, "I was cleaning her room yesterday and I found some really strange things under her bed." I quickly went to my sister's room and looked under the bed. I found a long rope and 4 candles that looked strange. They were wrapped together with a rope like snakes, along with a half-burned piece of paper. I couldn't even tell what was written on it. I said, "No, that's enough. My sister has gone too far. I have to do something." The next day, I went to her university and looked for the classmate she had been arguing with. I asked him, "Why were you two arguing?" What he told me completely shocked me. He said, "Laura and I used to be really close friends, but I stopped talking to her because one day she asked me to perform some satanic rituals with her that she had read about on the dark web. She told me those rituals would make us stronger and give us control, and that we'd live forever, but I refused." What he told me made me extremely worried about my sister, so I rushed back home to talk to her. When I saw her, her eyes were strangely red. I immediately suspected that she had performed those rituals while she was at her friend's house. I called out to her, but she didn't answer. I ran to her room and she slammed the door shut in my face. I yelled, "Laura, open the door. I know what you're planning to do. This is witchcraft. Don't follow those demons. They're going to destroy your life. Open the door right now." Instead of opening the door, she screamed at me. Why do you care? Leave me alone. Stop getting involved in my life and focus on your own. I'm not a little kid anymore. I'll come out when I feel like it." Her words really upset me. I felt insulted, so I went and sat in the living room. I figured I'd talk to her when she finally came out. That night, my dad and mom weren't home. They had somewhere to go, so it was just me and my sister in the house. I stayed sitting on the couch, waiting for her to come out so I could talk to her. But I don't know what happened. I must have fallen asleep. When I woke up, I found myself tied up by my hands and feet with tape over my mouth. The first thing that came to my mind was that a burglar had broken into the house and attacked me. I was worried about my sister. I tried to scream and call for her, but no sound came out. When I opened my eyes, I saw that the door was locked from the inside. Then I heard someone coming. The person who walked in was my sister, but she was completely different. She was dressed all in black and she was staring at me with an evil look in her eyes. That's when I realized she was the one who had tied me up after somehow knocking me out. But why? She ran away from me and let out a creepy laugh. I thought, that's it, she's completely lost her mind. She said, "I know you want to stop me from doing what I'm about to do, but you can't." Then she told me something that completely shocked me. She said she had discovered a way through the dark web from a group of Satan worshippers that would give her supernatural powers and eternal life. But there was one condition: she had to give up her human body and end her life. I couldn't understand what she was saying. I wanted to scream at her, "What are you talking about?" But I didn't get the chance. Laura shocked me even more. I kept screaming while trying to free myself so I could stop her from doing what she was planning, but I couldn't. Then she said, "Don't worry, sis, I'm not going to die. I'm just going to move from one dimension to a better one, and I'll become stronger." I felt like she had completely lost her mind, or that she was possessed by a demon. Her eyes were moving randomly, and she had this terrifying smile on her face. And then something happened that I never thought anyone could ever witness. I watched my sister die right in front of me, and there was nothing I could do to save her. I just kept crying and crying until I passed out. When I woke up, my family had arrived, and the police were there. They carried my sister's body out of the house. She died right in front of my eyes. To this day, I still can't forget what happened. It left me traumatized. My sister destroyed herself and destroyed our entire family. Please, pay attention to your children and your siblings. Know what they're doing online. And don't ever think about going on the dark web, not even out of curiosity, because it's extremely dangerous. And believe me, there have been many incidents connected to it, even in the Arab world. Please, stay safe.